This is the print I found online for the blueprint presentation. In this presentation, I'll be going over the title blocks, the units used for the dimensions, the tolerances of the dimensions, the notes on the print, and the types of tools that I'll be using that I would use to inspect this part, as well as the projection method used. Now, going down over to the title block, we see the company name, the Vista Industrial Products Incorporated. And below it, we see the title of this print. It's called the backstop slide. And we see that the size of the drawing, the sheet size is size B, which means that it's 11 by 17 inches. There's no cage code provided in the title block. The drawing number is actually alphanumeric. It's a VIP-BS1. VIP standing presumably for Vista Industrial Products and BS standing for backstop. And we see that there's been a revision made. That's why it has B here, but the actual revision block is up here in the upper left-hand corner. And the revision description made says change 790 to 718, which is this dimension here presumably. And that it was made on the 26th of December in 2002, approved by the person with the initials JPS. Now going back down to the title block, there's no scale provided, even though it says the word scale here, and there's neither the weight provided for this on this print. For the sheet, it says 1 of 1, so this is the only sheet. And over here in the approval block, we see that it was drawn by JPS working for the Vista Industrial Products on December 26, 2002, which means that the revision was made on the same date that it was drawn. And here we see that AWE, who also works for the same company, he actually checked it 9 years later, which is kind of interesting. Now moving over to the left, we see this the tolerance block, and inside we see unless otherwise specified, the dimensions are in inches. So all of these numbers are all inches. And as far as the tolerances, for 2 decimal places, we see that it's plus or minus 30 thousandths. For 3 decimal places, is plus or minus 10 thousandths. And for 4 decimal places, it's plus or minus 5 thousandths. And for angles, it's plus or minus half a degree. Now we're going to go over to the lower left-hand corner, and here we see 2 general notes that were made. First one being that this is an in-house print, and the second one being the type of finish to be used on this part, which is an anodized type 3 class 2 black. And now we're going to discuss the tools I'm going to use if I were to inspect this part. So most of the dimensions are to the 3rd decimal place, which means that it's plus or minus 10 thousandths. So I would use vernier caliper, the vernier or a digital caliper for most of these. But as you can see, there's like some really tight tolerant for like 4 decimal places, which are 5 thousandths. So I would probably, especially if they were less than an inch, I would just use a 0 to 1 inch micrometer for those really tight dimensions. As far as the holes, like this one and this one over here, I would probably use a gauge pin. And you can see this really thin slot cut into the back, which you can see it better in the pictorial. I would probably use a really thin gauge block for that. And as far as projection method, it doesn't actually state in the title block anything about that, but just by deducing, we can see that quite unusually for assumably American print. This is actually using a first angle projection because we have this section cut out right here, and we see that this back is facing towards us. And if we roll the part over, it's to the right, it's going to show the left side, and we roll it forward, and it's going to show the bottom. And down here we have we roll it backward to see the top, and those views would imply that this is a first angle projection, which is quite unusual for American print. As we can see, it's using inches instead of millimeters. And yeah, this is my presentation on this part. So thanks for listening.